Prepare yourself for a wild lineup of clips that will leave you shocked. Ready? Let's dive in. And by the way, welcome to 2025. I hope this year is great for everybody. The first clip of the year is very disturbing. If you don't think you're ready for disturbing things yet, skip this clip by 1 minute. If you're still here, then I know this is your jam, so let's jump in. This image is unsettling to say the least. I mean, it's not every day you come across a photo where a man's face and shoulders are engulfed in what looks like a grotesque growth of dark brown fungus or mushrooms. I mean, parts of his mouth look like they've been eaten away by the fungus, exposing skeletal teeth and a bare nose. His face is almost unrecognizable. Behind him, there's a woman on one side and another figure with their back turned on the other. It's hard not to jump to conclusions. This looks like something straight out of a zombie apocalypse movie or a post-apocalyptic TV show. Let's hope this is just a movie set or someone is expertly done in makeup and prosthetics. While fungi like cordyceps have inspired terrifying zombie stories in pop culture, a real-life fungus transforming humans like this remains pure fiction, at least for now. Fingers crossed it stays that way. On second thought, perhaps that's just wishful thinking and this is real. Either way, let's hope this clip is the only place you see something like this. Stepping away from that weirdness, take a look at this. That's not a beach. No, they're not even remotely near land. This was captured from a commercial airline high up in the skies. What you see are clouds, and the weird thing about them is that they appear to have individuals standing on them. If we remember anything from the science we studied in elementary school, this should not be possible, right? But there it is, unless of course they're not human, which even the one recording this clip stated he didn't believe they were. So if they aren't human, then what are they? The most popular answer is aliens. I mean, with all the strange things happening in our skies recently, that's not too surprising. December 2024 saw a surge in these alien encounters in the sky, and who knows if they're up to something in our clouds. While that sounds interesting and intriguing, there are some in the paranormal community who believe the clip is doctored and not authentic. I get why they would think that, but sometimes just because something exists or doesn't look true doesn't mean that it isn't. Confusing? Yes, but think about it. And while you do that, please share your thoughts on the clip. This clip was captured on the 20th of December 2024 by a woman in Leicester, Missouri. Just to make sure we're on the same page, there's a strange and striking formation in the sky. It's a thick, white streak of smoke with an odd zigzag pattern near the bottom. The formation looks like long strands of fur stretching across the sky, a very peculiar sight. Naturally, everyone had questions. What could this be, and why is it in the sky like that? Some suggest that it might simply be an unusual cloud formation, perhaps shaped by strong winds at high altitudes. Others stated that they looked like contrails. Although these stances offer an explanation to a degree, they still leave much to be answered. Currently, no one can say with 100% certainty that they're right. There are even opinions that they might be alien. But let's hear your thoughts. What do you also think? While you think about that, let's take a look at this image that surfaced a few years ago. In it, we see a strange creature with wings sprawled out. Its body is exposed in a way that reveals its belly, undersides of the wings, and neck. It was said to have been found somewhere in Asia as far back as 2020. If you were alive, then... wait, what am I saying? Of course you were alive back then. Anyway, back to the subject. We all know COVID-19 was having a field day in the year 2020, right? It was around the same time the image of this creature showed up, and naturally rumors began spreading that this creature carried deadly viruses, with some even claiming it was linked to the origins of COVID-19. However, after some digging, it became clear that these claims were entirely false. The creature in question is actually a flying lemur, also known as a colugo. These fascinating animals are native to Southeast Asia and are neither lemurs nor capable of true flight. They glide between trees using the flaps of skin stretching between their limbs. While their appearance might seem unusual or even eerie to some, it's completely normal and they're completely harmless. What you see on your screen was photographed by a young man during an early morning run in Phillips Park, Manchester. As far as normal goes, you and I have to agree that this isn't normal. The individual who uploaded it actually believed that he had filmed a witch. Just in case it's not already evident, we've got a female-looking human with white hair and small beady eyes hiding in the tree. She, if we can even call her that, is looking down at the man who was jogging at the time. He uploaded this to let everyone know there was a witch in the tree. Many who saw it were shocked, while a few others shared their own stories. Some even stated it might be the Grinch or even E.T. Not sure if they were serious or not, but there were a few others who thought we were dealing with a little monkey. As far as surprises go, this is definitely surprising, but what do you think?
My dog and I come out here every night for a walk, and I have this insane spotlight. What the hell is that? Nyla, get over here right now. Hey! Nyla! What the is that? Nyla, come here.
Next, we travel back in time to the 18th of December 2024, where a TikTok video surfaced that left viewers puzzled. The clip was recorded in Wisconsin by a man who decided to record his evening walk through an unusually thick blanket of fog. As he panned his camera toward a nearby wooded area, something eerie happened. The camera captured several pairs of eyes reflected in the light staring back at him from the shadows of the trees. Yeah, that's definitely a sight no one will want to see, but that's not even the strangest part. As soon as his flashlight illuminated the eyes, they disappeared in the darkness. The unsettling encounter was enough to spook the man, who quickly called his dog and left the area. But you have to wonder, what could have caused the dense fog? What could these glowing eyes belong to? Could they have been animals startled by the light, or was something more mysterious lurking in the woods, watching him through the fog? My money's on the latter, but what do you also think?
And I have this insane spotlight. What the hell is that? Nyla, get over here right now. Hey! Nyla! What the is that? Nyla, come here.
As you share your thoughts on that, I would have you know that the mysterious fog phenomenon isn't isolated to Wisconsin. No, there are videos emerging from states like Missouri, Massachusetts, Minnesota, Texas, and others across the US, all capturing a thick, unnatural fog. What's truly unsettling is that people are reporting the fog smells like sulfur and causes irritation to their eyes and noses, which is far from the typical characteristics of natural fog. No official explanation has been provided, but the theories are piling up. Some suggest it could be weather manipulation, potentially geoengineering experiments. Others believe it might involve chemicals related to government activities. Then there are those leaning into the spiritual realm, claiming this fog could be a supernatural omen or a harbinger of something otherworldly. Whatever it is, the fact this phenomenon is widespread has left people restless. Do you think we should be worried?
It is really, really thick in downtown Dallas, and on top of that, it stinks. It smells like something's burning. It smells like sulfur. It stinks.
So not sure if to consider this a leak, but somehow I think it is. The picture you see on your screen was allegedly captured by an unmanned military capsule, a Russian one to be precise. Looking at this, we can right out of the bat say it's not human or anything remotely close. It looks like a fishman or simply an aquatic creature in humanoid form. When I saw this, I was about to ignore it until I saw comments from individuals in Russia who confirmed that there had been military ops around the lake they lived by. Some even mentioned that some of the soldiers involved in the op were killed by unknown creatures suspected to be aliens inside the lake. Being the civilians that they were not allowed to know anything concerning the operations, but they heard rumors. This brings us to two questions. What exactly are we looking at? Why is the government being secretive about it? Okay, let's add a third and fourth question. Did the Russians find aliens? And why did the aliens kill them? These are questions we may never have answers to, but if this image is genuine and it was actually captured during a military op with beings suspected to be aliens, then we indeed have a problem. A very big one. This woman was found in the jungles of India, chained to a tree. She was discovered by a group of cowherders who heard her faint cries for help. When they reached her, she was completely emaciated, looking like she hadn't eaten or drunk water in days. The herders quickly got help and managed to free her from her chains. Later, it was discovered that she was a U.S. citizen. India doesn't have the best reputation when it comes to tourists, especially women. This case did little to help the situation and only led to an outrage. Investigations were quickly started and they led to a conclusion no one could have suspected. It turns out the woman actually did this to herself because she'd run out of money while on a tourist adventure. A statement says otherwise, though. She stated that her own husband had done this to her. He had chained her to the tree and left her there for 40 days without food or water. While this does sound dramatic, the police insist based on evidence that that's not what happened. This did happen a few years ago, though, so what do you think? A property owner in New Jersey stumbled upon a truly bizarre discovery during a routine inspection of one of her properties. While exploring the house, she entered a room that had a staircase leading to what she assumed was a basement. But what she found was far from a basement. It was an entire hidden house below the main structure. The hidden area had multiple rooms, hallways, and what appeared to be fully functional living spaces. What's more alarming is that she wasn't informed about this feature when purchasing the property. Why would there be a fully hidden house beneath the main one? Was it used for something illegal or sinister? A shelter? A secret operation? Or perhaps something even more mysterious? Also, I do see some natural light coming into the apartment below. How could anyone not have noticed these openings from the outside? Japan is known for its technological advancements and cultural richness, but despite all that, it faces challenges with mental health, including one of the highest self-harm rates in the world. One of the most common methods is individuals jumping in front of trains. To address this heartbreaking issue, Japan has implemented innovative measures to curb these incidents. One such measure is the installation of blue LED lights in the subway and train stations across the country. Research suggests that blue light has a calming effect on the mind, potentially reducing impulsive behaviors. The soothing glow creates a more tranquil environment, helping individuals in distress rethink their actions during moments of crises. This is a step toward creating safer, more supporting spaces for everyone, and while it's something we should applaud, it has me thinking. Are our government secretly implementing things to make us behave in a certain way? I know I'm reaching with this one, but think about it. And just like that, we're back to more alien captures. Aaron came across this, a Reddit for discovered alien bodies. The images are interesting and thought-provoking at the same time. We've got all the parts of the alien, starting with the head, which looks a little like the alien heads we're used to, only the eyes are smaller. Aside from the head, we have the rest of its body, which is humanoid. When it comes to its hands, however, it's only got 3 fingers with nails, which is a bit surprising. Don't get me wrong, but I didn't expect to see nails on an alien. This was allegedly shared by Jois Mantilla. For those unfamiliar with him, he's a Peruvian communicator, producer, and audio-visual creator with a keen interest in unexplained phenomena and ancient civilizations. He's gained recognition for his investigative work on the Nazca mummies, alleged tridactyl 3-fingered humanoid remains discovered in Peru. This just adds to his long rap sheet, if we can call it that. There are some in the paranormal community, and even my team, that are skeptical about this one though. They feel it looks fake. You've seen the clip yourself, so what do you think? Next, we got this interesting looking cloud here. What do you see when you look at it? I mean, take a good look. It's got the oval shape and seems to have been stationary long enough to have caught the attention of all those individuals pointing at it and recording it. Personally, the first time I saw this, I was convinced we were dealing with a UFO. We've shared many clips on this channel that have featured strange clouds which turn out to be cloaked UFOs hiding in plain sight. I have no doubt this is one of those situations. Despite my confidence, however, Julius, our in-house science whiz, disagrees and believes that this is nothing more than a misconception fueled by pareidolia. We've gone back and forth on this one many times. I decided to have a third opinion on it. What do you guys also think this could be?
Did you see that?
Yeah. Bro. Come on, Max. You see that?
A couple in East Jackson, Mississippi captured strange footage while watching a live weather stream. In the night sky behind the clouds, something peculiar appeared, huge orbs moving in a straight line. The way these shapes emerge and shift within the clouds is very odd. Are they natural phenomena like rare lighting effects, or is it something less explainable? With such odd movements, some might speculate about advanced technology, atmospheric anomalies, or extraterrestrial presence. Whatever the case, it's another curious mystery that adds to the list of strange occurrences in our skies. Is there anyone with answers for this particular mystery here?
They found it. Look at that. Look at that.
Next, a camper in the Appalachian Mountains shared eerie footage from an evening at his campsite. As darkness fell, unsettling sounds echoed around him. It was of a woman screaming and dogs barking in the distance. Despite panning his camera through the surrounding darkness, he saw nothing. I know what you're thinking. Why was he recording in the first place? Well, the Appalachian Mountains have a notorious reputation for unexplained phenomena and unsettling experiences, with stories of strange creatures, ghostly apparitions, and eerie sounds passed down through generations. If you're camping in such a place, you would want your camera rolling. But you gotta wonder, if it can get dangerous, why do some people willingly go into such an enigmatic and often foreboding wilderness? It's hard to say, but perhaps it's the thrill of the unknown or the allure of discovering something extraordinary. For some, it may just be because it serves as a chilling reminder of the mysteries that still linger in the wild. Would you dare to camp there overnight? A woman from Staten Island shared this intriguing footage. In the first clip, 2 glowing orbs appear in the sky, each surrounded by what seems to be string-like formations that move with them. Later, she captured a second clip showing strange, colorful splashes of light hovering above a car. These colorful shapes lingered for a moment before vanishing, and then more orbs were spotted in the sky. The unusual combination of phenomenal luminous orbs, string-like formations, and floating colors has led many to believe it might be UFO-related. The orbs' movements and the otherworldly appearance of the floating colors seem to align with the kind of unexplained aerial phenomena often associated with UFO encounters. What do you think? This eerie footage shows a chilling moment captured in a hotel room where a woman was filming her daughter looking out of the window. Suddenly, the child screams in terror as a tall humanoid figure walks by the window. The figure was in black with a long, unnatural neck and appeared to glance into the room. While the video undeniably has a creepy atmosphere, it does raise some questions. The figure's exaggerated features and timing feel almost theatrical, leading to speculation that this might have been staged. The clear view of the figure and the dramatic reaction of the child seem a bit too perfect to be accidental. If it's real, the idea of something so strange peering into the room is spine-chilling, but if it's staged, it's still impressive footage. Peter Kane, a hunter, has made waves online with footage of what he claims to be the severed head of a Bigfoot preserved for over 6 decades in a frozen state. In the video, Kane presents the supposed head, showcasing its features, thick hair, and distinct facial structure that seem to fit the descriptions often attributed to the legendary Bigfoot. While the existence of Bigfoot remains a debated topic, with most experts labeling it as a myth, stories like this are very intriguing. Kane's claims have divided opinions. Some believe this could be a long-awaited proof of Bigfoot's existence, while others are skeptical, citing the lack of corroborating evidence of scientific verification. What do you think?
That's a real Bigfoot. I also have a juvenile. Now, people keep saying, why does the eyeball look like it's made out of paper? Why does it look like it's flat? First of all, it was frozen for 65 years.
Sure, we've had a lot of UFO clips, but you can never have too many UFO clips, am I right? This orange light in the dark sky is one that has been circulating in the paranormal community for weeks, if not months now. Many individuals who saw it believed they were UFOs racing across our skies at night. While some debated its authenticity, someone in the community recently shared this clip linking the orange orbs to old and ancient religious paintings. Somehow, these paintings have descriptions of alien or heavenly beings in vehicles that have similar orange hues. While that's interesting, it's also got us thinking. Did the ancients see and interact with aliens? If they did, what happened? Why did it end? If they didn't, how come many religions across various continents have similar paintings of such beings or instances at some point in their history? So many questions, yet not enough answers. Do you guys have any answers or ideas, to say the least? A man and his wife took their little daughter to the park for a lovely day out. The wife captured a photo of her husband and daughter sitting on a bench, their backs turned to the camera. When they later shared the image online to commemorate the moment, something unsettling was noticed. At the top left corner of the photo, a faint but discernible face of a woman appeared, but just her nose, eyes, and forehead, as though she were peering into the shot. According to the couple, they were alone at the time with no one else nearby. The story took a chilling turn when someone digging uncovered the park's dark history. A year prior, a young woman had been found dead in a nearby pond. When viewers compared the face in the photograph to the deceased woman's photos, the resemblance was striking. This discovery left many spooked. Could it be that the ghost of the young woman made an appearance in this family's photo? This footage from New Jersey has captivated many. It shows a glowing orb gracefully moving across the night sky encircled by an ethereal glowing halo. Witnesses describe it as mesmerizing, with some even calling it an angel. Atmospheric phenomena like ball lightning or ice crystals refracting light are also possibilities, but such events are rare and don't often move with the deliberate grace seen here. Could it truly be something divine, as many believe, or perhaps it's a UFO or a drone with advanced lighting technology? This might just be the craziest clip in today's episode. Came across this clip online which claimed to have had an alien spaceship over a suburban home. When I first saw it, I saw the spaceship because of the camera shake and poor quality of the clip. After watching the clip several times, it became apparent. The spaceship is directly above the house. Take a good look. The dark mass over the house is not a roof, it's a spaceship. Either that or I have an extreme case of pareidolia. Seeing the ship doesn't, however, make this clip authentic. Despite pointing it out, many individuals were just not convinced. They felt this was fake. But what do you also think? A man was driving in the dead of night when something eerie caught his attention. He passed a tricycle on the street, moving smoothly and steadily. Out of curiosity, he slowed down and glanced over as he reached the driver's side, and that's when he saw it. The tricycle was completely empty. No driver, no passengers, just an abandoned-looking vehicle cruising at a remarkable speed on its own. The sight was chilling, defying all logic. Was this the work of a ghost, or could there be some strange explanation behind it? A family had an unsettling experience one day that left them shaken. It started when their young boy ran into his mother's room, visibly terrified, screaming that someone was in the house. Everyone quickly gathered in the room and they could hear the distinct sound of heavy footsteps echoing through the home. Despite their fears, the mother decided to investigate, but no one was there. To find out what had frightened her son, she checked the security footage from the kitchen. What she saw left her uneasy. In the footage, her son was innocently taking a snack from the fridge when a chilling, disembodied voice whispered, "How did you find me?" The boy's genuine reaction of fear in the video was undeniable as he fled to his mother's room. Since that night, the boy has been too frightened to go out of his room, especially to the kitchen area. Poor kid. Take a look at this eerie footage captured by a CCTV camera in a quiet room. It shows a person lying still on a bed. As the camera rolls, something truly bizarre happens. A strange, translucent form seems to rise out of the person's body. It hovers momentarily, almost as if it's gathering itself, and then slowly dissipates in a thin air. Could this be the moment a soul leaves the body? The ethereal movement and timing of this phenomena certainly make it look like something more than a simple glitch or shadow. What do you think? There's some uplifting news coming out of Russia. The country has announced the development of an mRNA cancer vaccine. Yeah, you heard that right. This breakthrough could signal a turning point in the fight against cancer, potentially saving countless lives. The vaccine is designed to help the body recognize and attack cancerous cells starting early, effectively stopping the disease before it even starts. What's more, the Russian government has pledged to provide the vaccine free of charge to its citizens, a move that could revolutionize healthcare accessibility. Another remarkable aspect of this innovation is its adaptability. Using AI, the vaccine can reportedly be made or customized within an hour, allowing for rapid responses to different types of cancer. If everything proceeds as planned, the vaccine is said to be launched by 2025. This groundbreaking development brings hope to millions. It's inspiring to think we're moving closer to a future where cancer could become a manageable or even preventable condition. What are your thoughts on this game-changing innovation?
Мы вплотную подошли к созданию так называемых онковакцин, вакцин против рака и иммуномодулирующих препаратов.
While vaccine breakthroughs are being announced globally, here's a curious story from China. An aquarium has come under fire for using fake robotic sharks in its exhibits. Tourists visiting the facility, excited to see live sea predators up close, were left disappointed when they discovered that the whale shark on display was, in fact, a robot. The revelation caused outrage among visitors, many of whom demanded refunds, feeling deceived by what they assumed would be an authentic marine life experience. This incident has drawn comparisons to the movie RoboShark, though in this case there's no cinematic action, just disappointed guests and a very lifelike machine. While such technology could be an educational tool, especially where live animals cannot be kept, transparency with visitors seems to be the lesson here. What are your thoughts on robotic replacements in aquariums? This unsettling sight is both fascinating and disturbing. It shows a red structure covered with hundreds of spiders crawling across its surface. Watching the video gives an undeniable feeling of discomfort, as the sheer number of arachnids is enough to make anyone's skin crawl. What's going on here? This phenomenon is likely a case of spider clustering, which can occur when spiders gather in large numbers, often in response to environmental conditions like heavy rains or flooding. In such situations, spiders leave their usual habitats to seek higher ground, leading to these creepy web-covered zones. The red structure likely served as a refuge, attracting them en masse. Let's just hope these eight-legged squatters move on soon. This fascinating footage showcases the Alpha Robot AI, an innovative creation by the Polish company Robotics. What sets this robot apart is its remarkable design, which mimics the human body to an astonishing degree. From muscles to synthetic organs, intricately crafted from advanced fibers, the Alpha Robot is engineered to replicate human movement and functionality with eerie accuracy. In the video, the robot's fluid movements and lifelike behavior are both captivating and unsettling. Watching a machine move and act so similarly to humans is a stark reminder of how far robotics have come. Robotics has announced that the Alpha Robot AI will be officially launched in 2025, promising to bring this cutting-edge technology to the forefront of human-robot interaction. In the tech world, this is a good thing, but to some of us, this is a nightmare unfolding. Robots are looking more human as the day goes by. Pair that with AI, and we could have a robot uprising on our hands very soon, but we're not ready for that conversation. A group of men were out in the woods when they started to hear strange sounds. Listen.
Listen to that. What? I don't know. Listen to that.
Hear that? These sounds startled them. While they tried to decipher which animal might be making these sounds, they heard a response to that call that startled them. Once that response came, they heard the first one they heard again. There was not just one, but two animals communicating with these loud calls. This went on for a while, and the men left the place believing that the creatures were not just any ordinary animals, but Sasquatches. What's more, they believed the Sasquatches were actually communicating. Sounds like a bit of a stretch, but listen to the audio again and think about it.
Listen to that. What? I don't know. Listen to that.
Humans and animals typically respect their territories. Wild animals roam forests and jungles, while humans inhabit towns and cities. A man driving home one night captured something extraordinary on video. A whole pride of lions, more than 10 strong, casually strolling through city streets. The scene is both surreal and terrifying. Luckily, the man was safely inside his car, but the sight of these majestic creatures outside their natural habitat left everyone stunned. Even experts are puzzled by why a pride of lions would leave the wild for the urban landscape. Some speculate they might have been chased out by a threat, while others suggest it could be part of a migration, but the truth remains unclear. Perhaps we shouldn't be too surprised. After all, humans venture into the wild to hike, camp, and explore. Maybe this was just a family of lions on their own version of a hike.
Y'all, if the top of the pot starts spinning, what that mean? Like what I'm supposed to do at this point?
So I have been looking at this clip for several minutes. The individual who uploaded the clip stated it was a glitch and he himself was shocked. I wanted to find a logical explanation for the whole thing, and that sent me down a rabbit hole of many scientific theories and conversations with AI. Sure, I could have asked Julius, but he would have just laughed at me. From my research on scientific part of things, if the top part of a cooking pot, such as the lid, is spinning, it could be the result of normal factors like loose fitting or lightweight lid, steam escaping during boiling, or vibrations from the stove. It could also indicate potential issues such as an uneven stove surface, a warped pot base, or loose components. In the case of pressure cookers, spinning may suggest a problem with the pressure release valve that requires immediate attention. Looking at the clip, however, it doesn't seem to have any of these issues, and that's definitely not a pressure cooker. So do we go with the glitch hypothesis?
Y'all, if the top of the pot starts spinning, what that mean? Like what I'm supposed to do at this point?
Moving back to the extraterrestrial side of things, this clip was sent to us from Boca Raton, Florida. The sender had seen it on one of the paranormal platforms and wanted our opinion on it. It's allegedly a UFO hiding in the sky that was somehow exposed. Many of those who saw it think its cloaking mechanism might have malfunctioned. While that sounds like a reason for a UFO to be exposed in the sky, Aaron, our conspiracy theorist, doesn't think it's a UFO. Shocking, I know, but according to him, this is most likely a blimp. When he said that, it felt like I experienced a light bulb moment. Naturally, I went to the comments of the original post, and there's this comment that was. Turns out there was a Boca Raton bowl the night before, and that's where the blimp, which shows up every weekend, was captured. So as disappointing as that might sound, we can rule this one out with certainty. There are a lot of companies that have come up with robots that are eerily lifelike to humans. One of the most recent and impressive examples is Boston Dynamics' new Atlas robot. This new version of Atlas is capable of doing things that seem straight out of a science fiction movie. Atlas can perform a variety of tasks with remarkable agility and precision. It can run, jump, and even perform complex gymnastic maneuvers. Watching it move is almost like watching a human athlete, thanks to its advanced balance and coordination systems. The robot's design allows it to navigate challenging terrains, from rocky surfaces to urban environments, with ease. One of the most astonishing features of the new Atlas robot is its ability to interact with objects in its environment. It can pick up and manipulate items with a dexterity that rivals human hands. Whether it's lifting a box, using tools, or opening doors, Atlas demonstrates an impressive level of autonomy and skill. A man was hiking through the woods when he noticed something moving through the trees. At first he thought it might be a deer or maybe a bear, but as he got closer, he realized it was something entirely different. The creature is tall, standing at least 6 or 7 feet high. Its body is covered in thick, dark fur, and it moves with a strange, almost fluid grace. Its head is unmistakably canine with sharp ears and a long snout, but its posture and the way it stands on 2 legs are completely unnatural for any animal you know. It walked through the woods with a purposeful stride, pausing occasionally to look around. Dogmen have been reported for centuries, with sightings mainly concentrated in the United States. They often describe them as having the body of a man, the head of a wolf, or a large dog. Unlike werewolves, which are typically associated with transformations and full moons, dogmen are usually thought of as separate natural species, if they exist at all. So what do you think? Do we really have a dogman on our hands, or is it someone just playing games? This mysterious footage first surfaced back in 2014, showing satellite imagery of a plane flying high in the sky when something unusual occurred. Out of nowhere, a glowing orb appeared circling around the plane. Then a second orb emerged, followed by a third. The 3 orbs moved in strange, almost choreographed formations around the plane, creating an eerie and perplexing scene. These objects seemed to be closely followed the aircraft, moving with precision yet in an unpredictable pattern. The clip ends before revealing the orb's true intentions or whether they eventually disappeared. Many who've seen the footage are left wondering, what are these orbs? Were they some kind of advanced technology, natural phenomena, or something more otherworldly? And then there are a few asking the more important questions. Who filmed this?
When my firework went up in the sky, this is what I seen.
Did you catch that? No? Well, watch it again. Tell me you saw the face the moment the firework went off. That's definitely not normal and has since caused this clip to go viral. The one who originally recorded this felt he was seeing things, so he uploaded it onto one of our paranormal platforms, soliciting views and opinions from the members of the platform. Many who saw the clip believed that this could be evidence that the gods are up there watching down on us even if we don't see it. There were some who thought that the explanation made no sense and that this had to be a case of pareidolia. For those unfamiliar with the term, pareidolia is a psychological phenomenon where people perceive familiar patterns such as faces, animals, or objects in random or unrelated stimuli. It's a tendency for the brain to interpret vague or abstract forms as recognizable shapes. For example, seeing a face in the clouds, a human figure in a rock formation, or a shape resembling an animal in tree bark are all instances of pareidolia. This occurs because the human brain is wired to identify patterns for survival, especially faces, making it common and natural cognitive response. I also believe that's what could be going on here. But perhaps that's just me. What do you guys think?
When my firework went up in the sky, this is what I seen.
This article has been circulating for a while, stirring up quite a buzz with its intriguing headline: Are aliens behind Microsoft outage? Pentagon tracks 650 UFO sightings and Congress subcommittee discusses aliens. What's going on here? First, the Microsoft outage. Some conspiracy theorists have speculated that aliens could be behind it. The tech giant experienced significant disruption, and while it's easy to point to technical issues or cyber attacks, the timing has fueled speculation, especially given the rising number of UFO sightings. Speaking of UFO sightings, the Pentagon has indeed been tracking an increasing number of unidentified aerial phenomena. The report states that they're currently investigating 650 such sightings, which is a substantial uptick from previous years. This surge in sightings has led to more public and government interest in the topic. To add more fuel to the fire, a congressional subcommittee has recently held discussions about the existence of extraterrestrial life and the potential implications for national security. High-profile witnesses and experts have been called to testify, adding credibility to the conversation. But what does this all mean? Are we truly on the brink of confirming extraterrestrial contact, or are we just seeing a series of unrelated events being woven into a tantalizing narrative? It's hard to say for sure, but one thing is certain. The interest in UFOs and potential alien encounters is at an all-time high.
Listen. Whoa! Stay inside, baby. What the fuck is that?
Tell me you heard that. If you didn't, listen again. This sound has been heard in many places, and several people who have heard it believe that something large is being secretly built. Not many share this idea, however. Some think it might have something to do with Bigfoot or perhaps alien tech that's awakening. I know it sounds ridiculous for the most part, but we've no other explanation. If you have a more logical reason for a large sound being heard in areas close by without any physical machinery present to support its existence, please by all means do tell us in the comments section. We'll be reading.
Okay, but really, what the fuck?
Yup, that's a creature standing in the dark with a pair of glowing eyes. It's definitely not human. It has extremely pale skin, and the outline of its head is shaped like a skeleton. It appears to be very tall, say about 8 to 9 feet. As you try to make sense of what you're seeing, the darkness hides most of the creature's body, leaving only its spooky outline against the night sky. What do you think this could be? Kindly hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Doing so lets you stay updated and allows us to create more videos for you. Thank you for doing so. Now let's continue with the day's episode. Someone sent this stating he was a goat man, but once I saw the inscription, it hurt my heart because this person you see is every bit as human as you and I, only with a medical and birth defect. If you ever see someone like this, just know that they're actually suffering from microencephaly. For those unfamiliar with the term, microencephaly is a condition that affects the brain, particularly during fetal development. The term microencephaly literally means small brain. In individuals with microencephaly, the brain doesn't develop properly, resulting in a smaller than usual brain size. This condition can lead to various developmental issues and intellectual disabilities. Hopefully, this explains his behavior. Microencephaly can occur due to various factors, including genetic abnormalities, exposure to harmful substances during pregnancy, infections such as the Zika virus, or lack of proper nutrition during pregnancy. So guys, I know we love the supernatural and all related things, but sometimes it's just someone going through some birth defects. So be kind, okay? At least until we can prove that whatever you're thinking is the case. A man had his last moments with his bedridden father at home, and he believes he caught his father's soul on camera. Take a look.
This is a video of the last few minutes of Dad's life. Mom had been with him throughout the night and heard the death rattle. But she went on to bed, and suddenly I woke up at 6 o'clock, talked to Mom and said, I think it's the very end. I sat down with him and held his hand, and you can hear the death rattle.
His mother had been watching over his father throughout the night, but went back to bed early in the morning. The man woke up around 6 a.m. when he heard the death rattles from his father. Recognizing the sound, he knew these were the final moments with his father, so he hurried to his room and began to sing Amazing Grace, a song that had always been meaningful to his father. As he held his father's hand, cherishing these last precious moments, he felt an overwhelming wave of emotion. A moment later, his father took his last breath. Just then, the man noticed something extraordinary. A small orb of light appeared, seemingly emerging from his father's body. It hovered for a brief moment before ascending and vanishing. The man was stunned and filled with a profound sense of peace and awe. He believes that he just witnessed his father's soul moving up to the heavens. What are your thoughts? Could this be a genuine capture of a soul departing, or is it just a trick of the light?
We're going to investigate it, but there's definitely something out there that does not sound like wildlife I've ever heard. So,
a policeman was out to patrol an area by the woods after residents complained about a strange noise coming from the forest. The noises were cries that didn't match any known creature, echoing through the night and unsettling the community. Some residents, however, stated that the area was known for dogman sightings. This creature, described as a large bipedal canine with a muscular build and human-like characteristics, had reportedly been seen in these woods for years. As the policeman ventured deeper into the woods, he heard the eerie cries growing louder. The policeman did not get out of his car to take a look into the woods. He only drove by the woodlands, making sure that whatever was there was not getting to the residents. You can hear the haunting sounds in the backgrounds of the video. This is definitely not a small creature.
we're going to investigate it, but there's definitely something out there that does not sound like wildlife I've ever heard. So,
Next, we got a man who was out in the woods filming what seemed to be a survival series. It was close to sundown, and as darkness started to settle in, he was preparing for the night ahead. But then, out of nowhere, he heard something, a man screaming. He followed the sound, cautiously making his way through the trees, and then he saw it. In the open field, there was a silhouette of a man standing completely still, stiff as a statue. The figure wasn't moving, but it was yelling for help over and over again, with no visible signs of injury or distress. The man filming was frozen with fear, unsure of what to do next. Should he approach the person and risk being in a trap? or should he stay put and retreat? There are countless stories of creatures like skinwalkers, mythical beings that can mimic human voices to lure people in. These creatures are said to imitate cries for help, drawing unsuspecting victims close enough to capture them. On the other hand, we can't ignore the possibility that dangerous individuals could use this same tactic to bait victims in isolated places. In such a situation, I'm not sure what I'd do either. The lack of movement from the figure, despite the cries for help, would definitely set off alarm bells. Would you risk going closer, or would you trust your instincts and stay far away from whatever or whoever was making that sound? Next up, we've got this clip recorded by 3 hikers who ventured deep into the heart of an untouched forest. In the distance, something strange caught their attention. They could see massive trees swaying, but not with the wind. The trees appeared as though they were moving on their own. At first, it seemed like an illusion, a fleeting trick of the mind amidst the dense wilderness. But as they zoomed in with their camera, reality struck, and their hearts sank. There, among the trees, stood an enormous humanoid figure effortlessly lifting the massive pines from the ground as if they were mere twigs. It moved silently, carrying them away like toys in its gigantic hands, its presence both terrifying and surreal. It all happened so fast, but it was unmistakable, and the hikers stood paralyzed in place. This was the area people spoke of in hushed tones, notorious for Yeti sightings, but no story, no rumor had ever prepared them for this. Something far larger and far more powerful was out there, and it was moving, watching, waiting. The question is, what would you have done at that moment? Could this truly be a Yeti, or is it something even more chilling? Let us know what you think. Mars has been a planet of great fascination, drawing intensive research and exploration.
And now a new photograph has been released. That's really going to make you sit up and take notice. It's an entirely new face on Mars, and this time it appears to be the face of a woman wearing a crown.
During these studies, scientists have stumbled upon numerous puzzling features, one of the most intriguing being what appears to be faces. Yes, faces on the Martian surface have been spotted, sparking considerable excitement and debate among researchers. One of the most notable discoveries is the second face observed on Mars.
This is now the second face image, not the Cydonia one. This is at another location on Mars near the famous dark marking Syrtis Major. It's located about a quarter away around the planet from Cydonia.
When scientists enhanced the image, they were able to get a clearer view, and what they saw was astonishing. The formation closely resembles a feminine face adorned with what looks like a crown on her head. You can distinctly make out the nose, mouth, and what appears to be eyes. This raises the question, what could these faces mean? Are they simply natural rock formations that coincidentally resemble human features, or is there something more to these mysterious shapes? Share your thoughts.
The coloration is always artist's addition to the original image. Shown here, don't let that detract from the original image shown on the left.
If you think you're having a bad day, look at this.
We're gonna try it. You ready? Are you gonna be able to catch this? Oh no! Oh, that was okay.
On live TV, that's great.
I'm so sorry, buddy. Clearly, I wasn't meant to be a baseball or a softball player, so we're gonna get him a little.
This reporter was out in the field, supposed to throw a ball as part of her segment, but luck was not on her side. A man nearby was holding a little boy in his arms, and as she threw the ball, it hit the boy right in the face. While she was live on air, reporting the unexpected collision caught everyone off guard. The reporter's face turned pale as she realized what had happened. The little boy seemed startled, but was thankfully unharmed. The man holding him quickly comforted the boy, while the reporter rushed over to apologize profusely. The whole incident, captured on live TV, became a viral moment, reminding us that even the best laid plans can go hilariously wrong.
We're gonna try it. You ready? Are you gonna be able to catch this? Oh no. Oh, that was okay.
On live TV, that's great.
I'm so sorry, buddy. Clearly, I wasn't meant to be a baseball or a softball player, so we're gonna get him a little. That did not go as planned.
This massive 1,000-pound octopus allegedly washed up on the shore, and while there isn't much context to the footage, you can see people moving around the enormous creature, seemingly unsure of what to do with it. They might be contemplating whether to push it back into the ocean or transport it elsewhere, but the sheer size of the octopus is striking. It's hard to say if the footage is legitimate or AI-generated because the creature does look real. The texture of the skin, the way the tentacles lay on the ground, and the surrounding environment don't immediately suggest anything fake. However, with advancements in technology, especially AI-generated content, it can be tricky to distinguish between the two sometimes. If it's real, this is a rare and astounding find. A creature of that size would certainly draw attention, but it also raises questions. How did it end up ashore? What conditions led to this happening? Could it have been sick, or is this part of some larger environmental change? What do you think? Legit footage or a clever digital creation? In Antigua, Guatemala, a home security camera captured something truly bizarre during a heavy rainstorm. The camera, angled upward, caught a sky filled with lightning, except this lightning wasn't behaving as you'd expect. Instead of striking downward, it seemed to be diverging upward, almost as if it were originating from a single point below and then spreading out into the sky. It's a strange and unsettling sight, but the unusual phenomenon doesn't end there. Among the bolts of lightning, two glowing orbs appeared, hovering and moving between the flashes. These orbs are often associated with extraterrestrial sightings, raising an intriguing question. Were these orbs somehow linked to the unusual lightning? Could this be evidence of some kind of extraterrestrial activity, or perhaps some advanced technology manipulating natural forces? What do you think? Could these orbs have something to do with the strange lightning display, or is it a natural phenomenon we've yet to fully understand? During this beautiful sunset, a man zoomed in and noticed something unusual. There were tiny objects flitting about eerily close to the sun. It's hard to say exactly what these tiny things are, but their presence so near the sun is certainly intriguing. Some people speculate that these could be a type of insect or even otherworldly creature like fairies. There are even those who believe these could be souls floating in the glow of the setting sun. Others think they might simply be insects that appear larger and closer due to the zoomed-in perspective of the camera. Skeptics, however, dismiss these theories, arguing that the footage is likely fake or digitally edited, seeing as it's highly improbable for any living creature to survive so close to the sun's intense heat and radiation. What do you think?
This is crazy. I heard it. I heard it. I hear it.
This man was out at sea when, late at night, he began hearing strange sounds coming from the ocean, an eerie, loud, scream-like shriek that cut through the stillness of the night. He believes it might be a siren calling to him, a belief shared by many others. The sound echoed across the water, unlike anything he had ever heard before, an almost human-like wail that seemed to emanate from the depths of the ocean. Sirens, part of maritime folklore for centuries, are said to lure sailors to their doom with their haunting songs. These mythical beings are often depicted as both beautiful and deadly, using their voices to enchant and ensnare unsuspecting sailors. What do you think could be causing these strange sounds? Could it be a siren, or maybe there is a more scientific explanation?
That's crazy.
Have you ever had an unexpected and invited visitor at your home? Did they look something like this? Well, you thought that was an ominous being, didn't you? Well, for the first few seconds, that's what I thought, until the light hit. While this might have been a game if you live in America, especially in states where individuals are mandated to have a gun, I'm not sure you should be trying something like this. The funny thing is, individuals in the comments sections thought so too. Take a look at this. For the first time in a long time, I agree. You don't want to get pew-pewed while playing a prank. It can be painful and, well, deadly. Still on Merfolk, take a look at this. This looks human and yet looks fishy at the same time. Do you know what else has fishy and human attributes? That's right, mermaids. I want to believe this is real. I really want to, but my brain can't get past the fact that their upper body is covered like why is it covered? How would we know this isn't some doll you're trying to mislead us with? Because I have my doubts, I shared this with Julius, and as expected, he doesn't think it's real. But perhaps we're the ones being unreasonable. Do you guys think this footage is real? Please share your thoughts in the comments section. If you didn't like physics while in school, then it's because I was not your physics teacher. This next clip will involve a little of physics, and you're allowed to call me the professor for the next 60 to 120 seconds. I know what you're wondering, why the balloon didn't pop. The answer is simple. Darker colors absorb more heat because they absorb a wider range of light wavelengths, converting them into heat, while lighter colors reflect most of the light, absorbing less heat. This principle explains why the darker balloons popped and the white ones didn't when exposed to sunlight. The dark pigment in the balloons absorbs more energy, causing the temperature inside to rise quickly, increasing the pressure and causing the balloon to pop. In an experiment where a dark balloon was placed inside a white balloon, the dark balloon popped while the white balloon remained intact. This happened because the white balloon reflected most of the light, while the dark balloon inside absorbed the light and heat, causing it to burst. So why Aaron would want a paranormal explanation for this one? Well, I had to put my physics cap on. How did I do? Asked Professor Steve. A subscriber sent this in after a fishing trip by a mountain river. He took a picture of himself and his catch, but it wasn't until he looked at the photo again that he noticed something eerie. There, behind him on the mountain, was a large creature walking. It was bipedal, towering over the surrounding terrain. Intrigued and a bit spooked, he examined the wet grounds around the riverbank and found large tracks that many believe belonged to Bigfoot. Now let's take a look at another image believed to be of Bigfoot. In this picture, a large creature was captured ahead on a forest path. The figure matches the typical descriptions of Bigfoot: tall, broad-shouldered, and covered in dark fur. So what do you think? Are these real Bigfoot sightings, or could they be something else entirely? In this clip from Mexico, security cameras captured something unusual moving across the night sky. Take a look. Notice the glowing rectangular-shaped object, leaving a luminous trail as it zips through the air. It's definitely strange, and it has left many puzzled. Some speculate it could be alien technology, while others suggest it might be an entity rather than a man-made craft. While these theories are understandable, this sighting stands out from typical UFO encounters. Unlike the familiar disc-shaped objects, this one is rectangular, so could it be a man-made craft like a rocket launch? Not quite. The object made a sharp turn mid-flight, something unusual for a rocket, which usually follows a straight trajectory. If it's not a rocket or any conventional aircraft, what could this glowing object be? Share your thoughts. Japan is known for some of the most chilling and haunting urban legends, and this story is no exception. A group of young Japanese students found themselves caught in an eerie situation when they ventured into a restroom. As they explored the stalls, strange noises began to echo from one of them, sending chills down their spines. One of the students, filled with curiosity but clearly scared, decided to stand on the toilet in the adjacent stall to peek into the one that was causing all the unease. What happened next made them all scream and flee, but the camera kept rolling. After gathering their courage, they decided to open the mysterious stall. The girl, holding the camera, cautiously approached, pointing the lens inside. At first it seemed empty, but then as the camera panned back, there it was. A pale-faced girl lurking in the corner of the stall, her presence so sudden and unnerving that it sent the students running for their lives. Who could this girl have been? Could it be one of Japan's many ghostly legends, like Hanako-san, the spirit of a young girl rumored to haunt school bathrooms? Or was this some real-life person caught on camera? Back in 2017, this intriguing footage was posted online. Someone on a plane captured a strange-looking craft in the sky, and the video quickly garnered widespread attention. The craft had an odd shape, almost unlike anything typically seen in the skies. What stood out even more was the glowing light trailing behind it, giving it an eerie, otherworldly appearance. The object moved slowly and precisely, as if it were gliding deliberately through the air. Even more interesting was the fact that it didn't react at all to the presence of the plane from which the person was filming. It was as if the craft was completely aware of its surroundings but unfazed by them. Speculation about this sighting has been rampant. Some believe it's a genuine UFO sighting, possibly evidence of extraterrestrial visitors observing our world. Others suggest more conventional explanations, such as advanced military technology being tested or drones. What do you think this could be? On a boat ride, someone came across a massive tree trunk floating in the water. Although the water isn't very deep, this trunk is located in the middle of the water body. The presence of such a tree suggests that this area was once land that has since been covered by water. Discoveries like these are fascinating because they reveal stories about the Earth's evolving landscape. This phenomenon is seen worldwide. For instance, in the United States, dam construction has created reservoirs and lakes that have submerged entire forests, resulting in ghost forests, where tree trunks rise eerily above the water's surface. Similarly, rising sea levels and shifting river dynamics can transform landscapes, leaving behind underwater relics of once forested areas. What do you think could have caused this tree to end up submerged? Have you encountered any similar natural anomalies? Now, when this started to play, I must say I thought I was seeing a large crab or some form of crustacean creature stretching its legs. I watched it over and over and over, and each time, it made my skin crawl. Being the researcher I am, thanks to the influence of Julius, I did some digging around and found out later that there was nothing ominous about this. In fact, it's just a plant feeder that slowly dissolves in the water, allowing for planned and timed feeds. Neat contraption, right? Well, that's only if you know what it is. If you don't, you may end up posting it online thinking you've captured something otherworldly. Thankfully, I'm not like that, thanks to Julius. It pained me to say that last part, but it is what it is. The one thing that came to mind when I first saw this footage was a nearly headless Nick in the Harry Potter franchise. This man, however, appears to not have a head at all. How is this possible? Well, it's not. At least, it's not supposed to be. So what are we dealing with here? Well, either this is something supernatural or it's pretty cool and a neat trick. Personally, I don't think it's real, but one of the comments on the original post caught my attention. Yeah, she believes it might belong to a race of beings that are just like humans, but only headless. What do you guys think? This next one was taken in Texas. We're introduced to a strange entity moving in a rather bizarre manner. It leaps from the ground to the walls and then onto the floors, almost as if it were defying gravity. Watching the footage, it's clear how unsettling the sight is. The entity's movements are erratic and fluid, unlike anything seen before. Its form shifts and changes, making it difficult to define or describe. This mysterious creature seems to be something out of a science fiction story, and it's no wonder it has sparked so much curiosity and fear. People who have seen the footage are divided in their theories. Some suggest it's an alien creature, something not of this world. They point to its strange, unearthly movements and the way it seems to glide and leap effortlessly. Others believe it's a shape-shifting entity capable of altering its form to blend into its surroundings or evade capture. Some skeptics believe that this is edited footage. What are your thoughts? Would you look at that? This creature was captured by some fishermen and brought ashore. It's such a rare sight that's why everyone is gathered around and taking footage. As you can see, this thing is very long and looks like a giant eel. Just look at its shiny, silvery body and how flat it is. This creature is known as an oarfish. Oarfish are rarely seen by humans because they dwell in the deep ocean, often at depths of 200 to 1,000 meters. Their rare appearance near the surface have long been linked to folklore and suspicion. In some cultures, oarfish sightings are believed to be harbingers of natural disasters, particularly tsunamis and earthquakes. The reason behind this belief may have some scientific basis. Oarfish are thought to be particularly sensitive to seismic activity due to their habitat in the deep ocean, where tectonic movements are more pronounced. Some scientists speculate that changes in the ocean floor could displace these deep-dwelling creatures, causing them to come to the surface. However, this theory is still debated, and there isn't definitive scientific evidence to confirm a direct link between oarfish sightings and seismic events. Speaking of giant birds, take a look at this footage captured by a woman hiking in New Jersey. She recorded the clip after coming across some unusual prints on the ground.
They're bigger than my foot. Here's another one. I'm a size 10.
These bird-like footprints were massive and about the size of her own size 10 feet. That's way too large for any regular bird you'd expect to find in the area. Given the odd nature of the discovery, she naturally uploaded online, which sparked a debate. Some speculated that it could be the mark of a dinosaur-like creature, hinting at something prehistoric still roaming the earth. While that sounds intriguing, many were of the view that it was not possible given the fact that dinosaurs have been, well, extinct. Some also recounted that there have been legends of giant birds like the thunderbirds in Native American lore, which are said to have enormous wingspans and leave prints that could match this description. Not sure which sounds more believable, dinosaurs or thunderbirds, but what are your thoughts?
They're bigger than my foot. Here's another one. I'm a size 10.
And here's the screenshot. It's bright enough, I'm sure you'll see it, but I guess I'll probably load it up, I don't know, whatever. There's the screenshot of the video. And here's the zoom in of what he caught in my video. I don't know.
A man on hunting managed to capture footage of a huge creature moving among the trees in the woods. The creature stood upright, walking on two legs, with a height estimated to be around 8 feet or more, covered in dark fur, matching the typical description of Bigfoot. Sightings like this continue to fuel the ongoing debate about Bigfoot's existence. Some believe this footage could be definitive proof of the elusive creature, while others remain skeptical, questioning if it could be a bear, a man in a suit, or even a trick of the camera. What's particularly striking in this footage is the creature's height and its bipedal movement. The dark fur and towering frame certainly fit the Bigfoot legend, but the question remains, is this another compelling sighting of the mythical creature or just another case of mistaken identity? A homeowner woke up in the middle of the night to get a drink of water when he noticed something terrifying. There was an alien-looking creature lurking behind the door. It had a large, pale head and big black eyes resembling the classic depiction of a gray alien. The sight was so unsettling that he quickly grabbed his phone and snapped a photo. The creature seemed to be watching him intently, its unblinking eyes reflecting the dim light of the kitchen. The homeowner described feeling a chill down his spine as he stood frozen in place, staring at this otherworldly being. He managed to quietly close the door and retreat to his bedroom, where he locked the door and stayed up the rest of the night, too scared to sleep. The next morning, he reviewed the photo and showed it to a few friends who were equally shocked and puzzled. At least that's his side of the story. There are some who think the whole thing was planned and executed. What do you think, though? Could this be genuine first contact, or are we dealing with a bunch of fraudsters seeking their 5 minutes of fame? We all remember the alien incident that took place back in 2023, where a group of teenage boys claimed to have seen alien creatures walking about the area. While some dismissed their story, perhaps there might be some truth to their claims. I came across this footage from as far back as 2019 taken outside a mall. In the video, there is a strangely shaped craft flying over the area. It looks like a classic flying saucer with lights around it quietly gliding by. Aaron believes that this is evidence that there is indeed alien activity out there in Miami. This footage, along with the boys' encounter, suggests that there might be more to these sightings than just imagination or hoaxes. What do you think? Is this footage proof of extraterrestrial presence, or is there another explanation for these strange sightings? This footage was taken back in 2012 by some fishermen who were on a commercial boat. They were headed out on a regular fishing trip, hoping to catch a lot of fish, but instead of the usual catch, they found something incredible. As they pull up their net, they discover a huge creature tangled inside, trying to break free. And to make things even more surprising, a human-like arm sticks out from the mass with webbed fingers. Now, I don't know of any edible fish with hands, which has me wondering what exactly the fisherman caught. Could it be one of the legendary mermaids or a siren species, or are we dealing with something entirely new? So, someone sent us this video he had seen somewhere else, asking if this was normal. He stated that he had never lived in a place with snow and found it odd that snow could be rolled like this. He thought snow was supposed to be powdery and felt the government might be messing with our weather. While I don't deny my suspicions of the government messing with our weather, I don't think this is it. I did some digging around and confirmed what I already knew. This is actually possible as long as the snow is wet and sticky and not dry. As long as these conditions are met, you should be able to roll your snow. Unless, perhaps the government paid me to feed you this conspiracy. If you can believe that. Some say there are alien civilizations cloaked behind the clouds. Could that be what we are seeing? Well, Aaron believes that this is an actual city out there. I want to believe that you already know about the conspiracies about there being cities in the sky. Others who have seen this clip think that this is all just light casting shadows and creating an illusion. There's also the possibility that it might be the rare atmospheric phenomena called Fata Morgana, where light rays bend to produce a distorted or magnified image of distant objects. But still, the sight of towering buildings and intricate structures floating among the clouds makes one wonder, could there be more to our skies than we realize? What do you think? Are these cities a glimpse into the hidden world, or simply an interplay of light and shadow? Here we have another intriguing UFO sighting. A person on a plane captured footage of a disc-shaped craft in the sky. The craft appeared from above, flew side by side with the plane, then ascended higher before descending and vanishing below. The UFO was very smooth and shiny with a sleek, polished appearance. Some people believe it's CGI, a cleverly edited piece of digital art. Others are convinced it's real, possibly evidence of extraterrestrial technology or advanced human-made craft. But what do you think? The way the craft moved with such fluidity and precision raises questions. Could it be an advanced drone or experimental aircraft, or is it something entirely beyond our current understanding? This sighting, like many others, sparks a lot of debate. Skeptics point to the possibility of digital manipulation, while believers see it as potential proof of UFO activity. What do you say? We hear a lot of conspiracies surrounding ancient technology, with many speculating that advanced tech existed centuries ago. Over time, several artifacts have surfaced that seem to support these claims. One of the more mysterious discoveries happened years ago in Mexico when deep-sea researchers stumbled upon something truly extraordinary. While exploring an underwater cave system in the ocean, they came across a massive cave with hundreds of openings. Inside one of these caves, they discovered a human skull. Curious, they retrieved the skull and handed it over to experts for examination. The experts expected many things, but finding a microchip embedded in something that ancient was not one of them. Although this discovery wasn't elaborated on further, many believe that the chip is evidence of some kind of advanced technology that was possibly used by people in the distant past. Could this be proof that ancient civilizations were far more advanced than we've ever imagined? A chunk of the internet believes so. Others also think such beliefs are ludicrous, to say the least. What do you think? A group of women were on a boat ride across a lake when they noticed something strange emerging from the water. What they saw was the mouth and small part of the head of a very dark black-looking creature. The creature lingered just above the water's surface, but the rest of its body remained submerged. From what they could see, it was extremely long, like a massive snake or serpent. While some people speculated that it might have been a large pike, Aaron suggested it could be something more unusual, perhaps a water monster, maybe even a gigantic serpent or something similar to the Loch Ness Monster. What do you think? Could this be an enormous fish, or does it point to something more mysterious lurking beneath the surface? In the clip, we see two fish in a pond, one gray and the other black. Watch what happens next. The black fish suddenly jumps on the gray one and wraps itself around it. Almost instantly, the gray fish goes limp. It was like watching a scene from a horror movie, except it was real and happening underwater. The black fish appeared to suck the life out of the gray one, leaving it lifeless in a matter of seconds. Personally, I didn't know fish could do or were even capable of this. Is it some kind of predatory behavior or something else entirely? It's a chilling sight nevertheless, and makes you wonder what other strange behaviors are lurking in the depths of our waters. Someone captured our next clip one night, and what they saw was nothing short of mesmerizing. Take a look. You saw it too, right? A blue light fell from the sky and illuminated the darkness around it. It moved with a graceful descent, casting an eerie glow that contrasted starkly with the surrounding night. The light seemed to pulse gently, creating an almost otherworldly aura as it fell. Blue lights in the sky have often been associated with UFO sightings, and looking at this, it's no different. The way the light appeared in the atmosphere almost made it feel as though it were going through a portal or something similar. Once it showed up in the sky, it didn't stay there. No, it zoomed toward the Earth as though it were late for an appointment. Now, natural lights or lighting objects don't behave like this, and neither do any human crafts that we know of. The only sane hypothesis we can give to this is that it's alien or extraterrestrial. Either that or this clip is fake, but what do you think? It's always the abandoned places. On second thought, I guess they are abandoned for a reason. This was sent in by someone who looked down into an old well, curious to see what was inside. But as they stare into the darkness, they start to feel like someone or something is watching them. But here's where it gets weird. From the bottom of the well, they see a pair of eyes looking back at them, shining in the dark. What could be living down there in this empty well? At first, I thought it might be a cat, but Julius and Aaron disagreed. They think it's either humanoid or bipedal, but it's hard to imagine anyone living in such a lonely place. So, what could we be dealing with here? Perhaps I should let you guys take point on this one. Speaking of conspiracies, take a look at this footage from Utah. What comes to mind when you see this capture? And no, I'm not referring to the X trail in the sky, although that's also a tad suspicious. Look closely toward the middle. Do you see the dark being or creature there? Yep, the individuals who sent this in accidentally captured it and shared it online. Once they did, it didn't take long for another individual who had explored the area to share this footage. I don't need to tell you who this is, right? This big guy has apparently been living in and exploring the area. It's been captured one too many times by explorers and it doesn't seem to care. It probably feels like, well, no one will believe those sharing the clips and footage because Bigfoots aren't real. Just like some of you are struggling to believe if this is real or not.
Ahí está, mira, ahí está de vuelta, apareció. No sé qué carajo está haciendo.
In June, a resident in Lima, Peru, shared this remarkable clip which features a glowing object in the sky during sundown. Normally, you'd expect stars to start appearing at this time, but this was definitely not a star. The object blinked rapidly for a while before slowing down to a much slower blink. This glowing object wasn't stationary either. It seemed to move slightly, though it mostly stayed in one place until the footage came to an end. Most people who have seen the video believe this is a UFO, sparking a lot of excitement and speculation. Some argue it's a drone, a satellite, or even some atmospheric phenomenon. The way the object changed its blinking pattern, its slight movement, make it particularly intriguing. But what are your thoughts? Could this be a genuine UFO sighting, or is there a more conventional explanation? A woman decided to give a stray cat a home, believing she was doing a good deed. However, she was unprepared for the bizarre events that followed. First, let's take a closer look at the cat. It has an uncanny human-like face. Although it's covered in fur and is cat-sized, its facial features are disturbingly human. The woman noticed right away that this feline was different from any other cat she'd ever seen. It never mewed or played with her, adding to its eerie presence in her home. Things took an even stranger turn when the woman started experiencing unusual phenomena. She reported having strange, vivid dreams that were unlike anything she'd ever experienced before. These dreams were often unsettling, filled with bizarre imagery and inexplicable feelings. Moreover, she claimed to have spotted strange alien-like creatures around her home since the cat arrived. These sightings were brief and often happened at night, but they left her feeling uneasy and watched. The connection between the cat and these experiences seemed too strong to ignore. So what could this be? While you share your thoughts on that one, we travel back in time to Northern California on New Year's Day 2020, where this unusual photo was taken. Imagine you're hiking through the remote, towering peaks of Northern California on New Year's Day 2020. The air is crisp, the sky expansive, and the isolation of the trail is almost palpable. Then, out of the corner of your eye, you catch sight of something strange. A tall, dark figure looming just over the ridgeline. That's exactly what happened to the lady who captured and shared this image online. Naturally, this has stirred up quite the debate online, with everyone chipping in their thoughts and feelings. Some in the community analyzed the image and were struck by the size of the figure. By comparing its height to the surrounding geography, they estimated it to be around 7 to 8 feet tall, which makes it a massive creature by any standard. Zooming in makes the image even more interesting. The figure appears to have distinct facial features, including a conical head, which is a characteristic often associated with Sasquatch sightings. Some skeptics suggest it could just be a black bear with its posture and movement distorted by the camera angle. But the silhouette, when scrutinized, seems to align more with the descriptions of a Sasquatch than a bear. Aaron believes it's more Sasquatch than bear, whereas Julius thinks there's not much to go on with considering the quality of the image. Naturally, other team members who were also Bigfoot enthusiasts felt this is a good capture of the big guy. I would sit on the fence for this one, but I've laid out the facts and I'm curious to know what you think. Care to share in the comments section. They say that when people pass away unexpectedly, their spirits linger around the people and places they cherished, trying to say one final goodbye. I wasn't sure how true this was until I came across this footage and heard the story behind it. What you're seeing is a welder working alone in a shop when all of a sudden he starts interacting with something unseen behind him. He was by himself, yet it looked like he was talking to thin air. A security guard watching this on the monitors called the man, asking who he was speaking to, and the welder replied that it was one of his co-workers. When the guard showed him the footage, the welder was in shock. They decided to call and check on the co-worker, and to their horror, they found out that he'd passed away earlier that day. It seems he came back to say goodbye. This encounter is truly chilling and raises so many questions about what happens after death. Have you ever experienced something like this? Share your thoughts in the comments section. In it, we see orbs, or at least objects that look like them, moving around the sky. As the clip plays, you can see these orbs gliding gracefully through the air, almost as if they have a mind of their own. They appear and disappear, shifting in brightness and size, creating a mesmerizing yet eerie spectacle. Some people believe that these orbs are souls, spirits of the departed wandering the earth. They argue that the ethereal appearance and mysterious movement of the orbs are consistent with paranormal phenomena often reported in haunted locations and spiritual sightings. Others are more skeptical, suggesting that the orbs could be a result of camera anomalies or natural occurrences. When asked what kind of anomaly, however, they are unable to point one out. Aaron, our in-house conspiracy theorist, on the other hand, believes this could be extraterrestrial activity. What do you think? Have you ever gotten up from bed to find a bear in your hot tub? Well, me neither, but the individual who recorded our next clip did. Take a look. The bear actually looks like it's having a good time, and who wouldn't in such a boogie setup? The owner, however, isn't too enthused. He knocks to get the attention of the bear. It takes a while, but once the bear realizes it's not really wanted in the tub, it gets out and starts to walk away. Once it's fully out of the tub, however, we realize that its ears are tagged. One person had to say this. Another also had this to say. And I must say that I agree. Let it chill.
What would you do if you saw a strange being pacing up and down on your property not too far from you every day for hours? Before you answer, let's watch this clip together.
This is the church that's directly across the street from my house that I was explaining. This is the area where we see that figure. It just walks back and forth every day, all day. Now, I've been over there a couple of times as I walk up on it.
Did you catch that? I mean, do you see the dark person out there pacing to and fro? Good. The individual recorded was recording because this particular person had been doing that for hours and sometimes days. Concerned, she went to investigate, and when she got there, the person was not there. It's almost as though he or she disappeared into thin air. After going through the experience a couple of times, the lady concluded that it had to be a shadow being or a person. There's a church not too far from the location, and she suspects that it might have something to do with the whole ordeal. After investigating multiple times, different individuals had different opinions. Some advised her to stay away from the location as it could be demonic. Others told her she didn't need to understand everything, as there are things that one can't understand. One person suggested that she get someone to film her as she approached to see if they could tell where it went. One person even teased that she needed a Samsung S24 Ultra, which, if you ask me, all who capture phenomena like this need. Someone ought to get in touch with the marketing division of Samsung. Just in case there's a Samsung executive watching this, well, please consider it. Imagine the first convincing Bigfoot or UFO clip coming from the Samsung S24 Ultra. Well, that's a win in the marketing department right there. Think about it. And if you want to pursue it, you know where to find us. We'll help you out.
Believe it or not, that's a real place, and that image is not AI generated. This was captured in Holsos. It's a breathtaking environment where the striking contrast of black sand and golden yellow river and vibrant green landscape come together in harmony. The black sand, formed from ancient volcanic activity, blankets parts of the terrain, creating an otherworldly feel that captivates any observer. Nearby, the Yellow River winds its way through the landscape. Its color is a result of sediment deposit that give it a golden hue. This river serves as a lifeline, bringing nourishment to the surrounding area and carving through the land like a bright ribbon of life amidst the darker, more arid landscape. What makes Holsos truly unique is the lush greenery that thrives along the banks of the Yellow River, creating a vibrant contrast to the surrounding desert. This sudden burst of life, with its rich vegetation and patches of fertile soil, stands in sharp contrast to the black sand and rugged cliffs. Here, native plants grow abundantly, and wildlife flocks to the riverbanks, drawn to the fresh water and shelter provided by the greenery. It's a rare convergence of elemental forces where earth, water, and life meet in a stunning display of nature's resilience. Believe it or not, what you just heard me say was written by Aaron, quite the poet, wouldn't you agree? I added visiting Holsos to my bucket list. What about you? Next, let's dive into the fascinating world of these hard-working insects. Take a look at this dynamic duo of ants. determinedly hauling a tiny SIM card through the maze of cracks in a wall. But what could possibly drive these tiny messengers to undertake such a peculiar mission? Could they be harboring a secret telecommunication network within their covert hideout, relying on a SIM card for connectivity? It's a captivating idea that these ants might be the unseen masterminds of a miniature technological empire. Imagine a bustling ant metropolis where information seamlessly flows through their own version of cyberspace, all facilitated by the humble SIM card clutched in their tiny mandibles. You know, that's actually a scary thought. But why do you think these ants are stealing these SIM cards?
Pause. It's a plane flying low over people's homes, scanning the ground with that green laser.
In recent times, a series of peculiar events have left communities puzzled and with more questions than answered. One such mysterious incident unfolded in Cape Coral, Florida, where residents were both bewildered and alarmed by a strange craft hovering across their skies. The most disturbing part of this is the vibrant green laser beam that emanates from the craft, sweeping across the earth below like a scanner. This went on for days until the locals had enough and contacted authorities for answers, but their replies were unclear and they provided little information about the strange flying object's origin or purpose. This has led to various guesses and ideas about what it could be. Some suggest that the flying object could be on a mission to map the landscape, trying to study and learn about the terrain below. On the other hand, different theories propose a mysterious purpose, perhaps one with an origin that lies in the secret service of the government. It's a stretch, but how else do we explain this? Anyway, share your thoughts on what you think this could be.
They told me not only do their planes fly during the day, they also don't use green lasers.
The pace of technological advancement is astounding, and there are always new and exciting gadgets being developed.
Yeah! Yes! Woo-wee. Wow, so...
At SXSW, Disney showcased a revolutionary robot that could move with an unprecedented level of agility and express emotions. The robot's motion capture technology allowed it to execute complex actions with astonishing precision. Watching the robot perform graceful somersaults and effortlessly get back on its feet was truly mesmerizing. What was particularly striking was the way the hosts interacted with the robot. They treated it as if it were a human child, carrying it and hoisting it on their shoulders with ease. The movements of the robot were so lifelike that it was easy to forget that it was a machine. However, it's worth noting that Disney has faced criticism in the past for some of its activities. As a result, the fact that they're developing robots that resemble human children is somewhat disconcerting. Does the company have ulterior motives? Some do think so, but some are also simply worried about what such technological innovations could mean for humanity. What about you, though? What are your thoughts on this? Share them in the comments section.
Woo-wee. Wow, so...
If you thought that was an isolated incident, it's clearly because you haven't seen this clip.
This plane traveling into San Francisco is seemingly defying the laws of physics. It appears to just be sitting still in the air. It's gone viral. It was taken by a man from the window of a nearby plane. The video is actually an optical illusion. It's called the parallax effect. It's a type of visual illusion in which the position of a moving object appears to freeze due to the position of the observer.
This was captured by a passenger on a plane while flying over the waters of San Francisco. And yes, it's another plane stuck in the sky. The news tried to tell everyone that it was normal and something that occurred often. They tried to explain it as an optical illusion, which would have sounded logical, but the audience and masses rejected the explanation. A number of individuals stated that they could see the cars below moving, which didn't make sense. Many individuals also stated that they'd experienced it themselves and that the explanation being given by the news was not logical. Naturally, this got me very curious, and I went down the rabbit hole in search of the truth. My search led me to our next clip. So, this is a clip of a guy just chilling with his friends waiting for their Uber when he sees a goat go by. He then decides to film it to pass the time and thinks nothing of it. When he posted the video, someone pointed out what he missed, a figure lurking by the tree. And we're not talking about the goat. Oh, no. The entity was covered in a dark robe with a weird skeletal-looking face. Everyone who saw the footage was wondering what we were dealing with. Some thought it was just a man in a mask, whilst others thought it was the Grim Reaper. Those who thought it was the Grim Reaper pointed out that the uploader, one of his friends, or all of them may be near death. Creepy, huh? The mystery deepens with our next clip. Take a look at this recent TikTok video showing a strange scene captured by a daughter's boyfriend during his morning commute.
Oops. That's freaking weird, man.
Isn't it?
Yeah, like there's someone else taking a picture.
The video reveals a bird hanging in the sky, seemingly frozen in time. What makes it even more peculiar is not just the bird's lack of movement, but also its odd sideways position. While some might think that birds sometimes spread their wings to take a break mid-flight, this is definitely not how they rest mid-flight. The unusual stillness of the bird raises a lot of questions. How could a bird stay suspended in such a peculiar way, going against gravity and the usual dynamics of bird flight? There's no logical answer to this, which brings us to another question. Could it be a glitch in the Matrix? I mean, what else explains a bird getting stuck mid-flight like it's paused in a video game or a movie? Think about it.
I'm ready to drive.
Yeah. What if it just dropped all of a sudden? Wouldn't that be freaky?
Okay, well, let's go before it just drops on us. So weird.
On April the 10th, 2024, Jay Bavin, a well-known pop star, shared a fascinating video on his Instagram account. The footage showed a triangular UFO moving about in the sky above New York. The craft's shape and movement were indeed unusual, and the video quickly garnered attention from people all over the world. While it's not uncommon for people to share supposed UFO sightings online, many of these reports are often dismissed as hoaxes or computer-generated images. However, given Jay Bavin's celebrity status and the fact that he has a large fan following, it's reasonable to assume that he wouldn't post something that wasn't genuine. In fact, when I first saw it, I thought it was a hoax because I hadn't checked his account yet. I hopped over to his account, and surely enough, it was there. His footage is clear and shows the craft in detail, making it difficult to dismiss as a simple optical illusion or a fake. The fact that a pop star of Jay Bavin's caliber has shared this video should make people take this sighting seriously and consider the possibility that we are not alone in the universe. Don't you agree? Next, we have this clip that a man in South Florida shared online that he took sometime in February 2024.
Alright. Here in South Florida, it's 2 o'clock in the morning. Go out and capture it. I'm always looking up at the sky.
In the clip, we can see an object that appears to be moving in a vertical motion with a pinkish glowing hue hidden by the clouds. He initially thought it was the moon, but that was the wrong position for the moon at that time of the night. Unsure of what he'd captured, the man shared the clip online. The first thing he discovered when he shared the post online was he was not the only one who had seen it. The individuals who took the image insisted that it was not the moon, which also tied into the man's narrative. Once the moon was rolled out, those who saw the post thought it might be a rocket launch or something similar to that, but that was also written off. Despite the skepticism surrounding it being a rocket, I did some digging around and realized that there were some rocket launches in February. This includes the SpaceX Falcon 9 NASA PACE mission and the SpaceX Falcon 9 United States Space Force Mission 124. There's a possibility that these launches were what the individuals saw, but some thought it was Project Bluebeam. If you aren't familiar with this, it's a conspiracy theory that suggests that the government is using advanced technology to create holographic images in the sky as a means of controlling the population. Without further evidence, like the exact date, time, and location from which the clip was recorded, we can say this is a rocket launch. That doesn't mean it's impossible, though. Speaking of the Blue Beam Project, we don't have a lot of evidence to support it, but the absence of evidence doesn't mean the lack of it. Some have also suggested that the glowing object could be a meteor, a satellite, or even a UFO. You have seen the clip yourself, so what do you think it could be? I'm not sure how we ended up here as a society, but yeah, this happens. A man came out to find expanding foam stuffed into his exhaust by his neighbor. The neighbor apparently had had enough of the disturbance coming from this man and decided to take things into his own hands. He basically said it, then put the foam into the pipes and left him a letter of affection. Well, it's rage, but we are in a new year, so positive thinking only. Many in the comments congratulated the neighbor for doing something they could only dream of doing. A small minority felt the neighbor had been unreasonable and unfair. What do you think? What would you have done in this situation? And with that, we end our first episode of the year 2025. Thanks for staying with us, and we hope that you stay with us for the rest of the year. If you have any interesting footage you want to share, including ones you recorded yourself, please send them with us to classifiedcaptures@gmail.com. Once received, we'll do our thing and include them in our next episode, and we can't wait to receive what you have. Don't forget to share this video with someone you love, and I will see you in the next one.